Welcome aboard. Thank you so much for choosing the national broadcaster this lovely Sunday. And of course, we're having great weather, and of course, a new company. It works for us, and it's always a pleasure to serve you better. My name is Sandra Kahunde, welcoming you for our weekly news roundup that comes your way every Sunday afternoon. And here we take you through the top stories, activities of the week, and of course, each and everything that you could have missed out right here in the central and across the region. And starting off, we look at activities regarding the head of state, and that is in as far as the 1st December celebrations are concerned, and reminding us to take good care of ourselves. President Yoweri Museveni this week asked Ugandans to desist from lifestyles that could easily lead them into acquiring HIV/AIDS. Museveni preached against a stigma and asked for behavioral change in fighting HIV/AIDS. Well, this was during the World AIDS Day commemoration held in Rukunjiri district, where he lauded donors for supporting the response to HIV/AIDS here in Uganda.
It was music for hope, dance for awareness, and poetry for mindset change as Ugandans converged in the Western District of Rukunjiri to commemorate World AIDS Day. Speaker after speaker, both achievements and challenges were highlighted.
HIV/AIDS is still a significant concern for this country. It's still a public health concern. You led the fight by example. You summoned and prepared all your troops to tackle the fight against this enemy that was threatening the growth and progress of this country. We therefore celebrate your courage and heroism today.
We know that the longer young people stay in school and complete school, the less chances of registering teenage pregnancies and HIV infections and other sexual-related abuses.
We remain deeply committed to ending HIV everywhere by engaging and empowering communities and by ensuring that our programs, research, and policies are informed by the voices of the people most impacted by HIV.
Also highlighted were more interventions required in the quest to get rid of HIV/AIDS.
I'd like you to urge leaders at all levels to continue to giving out the HIV message, to urge parents to be good role models and continue to cater for and give information to their children.
The Director General Uganda AIDS Commission has also declared the low funding to HIV response. So I want to request them to continue supporting and the government of Uganda.
To share in these concerns was President Yoweri Museveni. He had arrived earlier at Rukunjiri Main Stadium to officiate at the event.
We no longer have AIDS of accident like we used to have in the past. Because in the past, you could get AIDS through blood transfusion. You could get AIDS through the mother to child. You could get AIDS through unsterilized syringes in the hospital. But all those were eliminated. All those were eliminated by the interventions we did over the time.
Museveni emphasized prevention as the main factor in the fight against HIV/AIDS.
The main source of AIDS now appears to be behavior related, where you do what you shouldn't do and then you get AIDS. So therefore, I really am determined to insist on this behavior change. And you, the church people, the mosque people, please bring this one out very clear. And the RDCs.
He also encouraged infected persons to embrace and maintain treatment.
If you get infected, then get tested, get treatment, and stick to the treatment.
Members of Parliament on the HIV/AIDS Committee agreed with the President.
To me, we really need to reflect about our tradition and the religious aspects.
We need to encourage them to abstain from sex because we have seen that they are the backbone of this country, they are the future leaders.
And those who are at school age going should keep in school, because when they keep in school, concentrate and be determined, there is a reduced risk of being exposed to HIV/AIDS.
Vice President Major Jessica Alupo and a number of dignitaries attended the World AIDS Day commemoration under the theme Ending Inequality Among Adolescent Girls, Young Women and Boys. Earlier, the chairperson Rukungiri District, area bishop and area MPs among others, gave a general view of Rukungiri District. Henry Okrut, UBC.
More from state activities. President Yoweri Museveni this week officiated the National Teachers' Day celebrations held at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds. President Museveni said government has prioritized roads and electricity because connectivity is very crucial.
Teachers in Uganda have joined the rest of the world to commemorate World Teachers' Day, which is celebrated every 5th October annually. This day comes at a time when the Education Service Commission completed validation of 38,000 staff. The exercise revealed that 498 public officers were confirmed to possess forged appointments, while 43% of staffing positions need to be filled to achieve equitable education. Government aims at free education for all. However, these government programs like universal primary and secondary education that have helped in increasing school enrollment have been obstructed by head teachers who continue to bring up school charges.
Education grant is not enough. Why don't you raise that? Why don't you make that the main issue? Why don't we struggle with more capitation grants? Because the wish of the government is free education for the children of the poor. Now that is not working well because of the obstruction by the teachers, especially the head teachers, because they bring charges, and because of the charges, the children drop out.
During celebrations to mark World Teachers' Day at Kololo, where teachers fronted the issue of balancing salaries for both science and art teachers in next financial year budget, President Yoweri Museveni said he made the increment of 300% for science teachers because the roads and electricity that government prioritized need scientists.
Please stop this indiscipline. Don't make tumugenda kututomeza. We shall not agree to anybody to make us make a mistake with the roads and with electricity from 2006. Because if we do that, then they will attract factories here, which will help us solve the problem of shortages, but will create jobs, but will also pay taxes. Then we can do other things.
The First Lady and Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, says government sees teachers as part of the solution, offering physical alternatives. She clarifies that national teacher policy is to ensure that the teaching profession is regulated.
Recommended that our teachers, those who are not graduates, to upgrade. And we think this is good for our teachers. And we think that it is good for our country. Because most countries globally now are graduates from universities, even those who teach at pre-primary. And it's demanded of teachers to either be graduates or even have a master's degree in education.
The General Secretary, Uganda National Teachers Union, Philbert Baguma, said The 300% salary increment for one category of teachers has led to disunity and demotivation of teachers. Some of the science teachers have also reported gaps in the procedure of payment.
Uniformity in payment of the increment. It has been noted that some of the implementers of the enhancement do not have clear guidelines on the subjects considered as sciences. As a result, some of the deserving teachers have not benefited from the increment. In some local governments, teachers of physical education are earning the new salary, and in others, they continue not to earn. We therefore request for the clear guideline on who is considered a scientist in education sector.
Development partners have also expressed fear that if conditions in which teachers operate, like having crowded classrooms, are not improved, they are seeing unprecedented numbers of teachers leave the profession. I'm Nafka Farida and Dan Lugemwa in Kampala.
More from the head of state, President Yoweri Museveni this weekend assured the public that there will be no instability in the country and elections in 2026 will take place without any interference. He wants the public to concentrate on their normal activities of wealth and job creation. The president made the remarks during Patriotism for Youth and Investment rally at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds here in Kampala.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has assured the public that there will be no instability in the country and elections in 2026 will take place without any interference. The president's comments follow the recent wave of attacks by some groups of gangs on the police posts and security installations.
Now, this idea of people saying that there will be instability in Uganda, that is daydreaming. There will be no instability. There will be no instability in Uganda. The issue of the elections will come at the right time.
President Museveni, who was addressing Patriotism for Youth and Investment Symposium at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds in Kampala, urged the public to carry out their normal activities of wealth and job creation.
I would want you to concentrate on what we are talking about here. I heard what the doctors were saying, but I would, and the lawyers, and the other speakers, but let's concentrate on what is needed now, which is what I have told you.
He encouraged the youth that gathered at Kololo to focus on their core strategic principles of the National Resistance Movement Party of prosperity for all, security and stability, patriotism, Pan-Africanism and democracy. The Patriotic Youth and Investment Symposium was organized by the Presidential Advisor on Youth Affairs, Helen Seku, who commended the President for the many projects aimed at empowering the youth.
I'm really humbled that you've taken an honor and your time to come and spend it with this Bazukulu at this ceremonial ground. Your Excellency, sir, to bring you to program today, we have been here since 7 o'clock with the title of National Youth for Patriotism and National Symposium, Investment Symposium. And our theme is Patriotism for Socio-Economic Transformation. That's the reason we are here to celebrate the young patriots and our senior patriot, who's Jaja.
The Uganda Medical Association applauded the president for having increased the salaries for scientists and improving healthcare services across the country.
To thank you so much. As health workers here, Your Excellency, you can see we are happy here. at least our welfare. You've been the engine behind the improved welfare of health workers. That right now, the least paid health worker who is an enrolled nurse and 1.4 million shillings from 600,000.
Philip Aguta, UBC News in Kampala.
Now, away from state activities as far as the head of state is concerned, in other news, the first ladies and women leaders from the Asia Pacific and Africa this week signed a declaration committing themselves to adopt advanced technologies to ensure sustainable food production and clean water that children need to survive. Well, this was during day 2 of the Asia Pacific and Africa Economic Women Summit in Tokyo, Japan.
Uganda's Prime Minister Robina Nabanja, accompanied by Uganda's ambassador to Japan, Tofasi Kawa, visited Elementary 5, where they were warmly welcomed by pupils and ushered in their class. Nabanja told the students that Uganda is endowed by nature with beautiful scenery, and it is referred to as the Pearl of Africa. A few minutes later, after sharing experiences and the students asking the Prime Minister, it was lunchtime and she was also invited to join the pupils to serve. Nabanja was surprised to see children serving fellow children at lunchtime and even sharing the same meal with the teachers.
You can see that the teachers are eating together with the children.
After a nutritious lunch meal of rice, fish, milk, vegetables plus fruits, Nabanja said that when she returns to Kampala, she will ensure that this approach of parents contributing to the lunch of their children is emulated to foster learning.
The parents contribute 80% and the government contributes 20%.
Keitego Nagawa, member of board of Misonokita Elementary School, says that government contributes to the feeding of the children in addition to the parents' efforts.
The school lunch is subsidized by the government. There are still parents who don't want to pay for the school lunch because it is part of compulsory.
However, Nagawa says that some parents also find it difficult to contribute to the lunch of their children, but it is compulsory.
And rice and milk are subsidized by the government, so the parents only pay for the side dishes.
Earlier on in the day, the visiting first ladies and women leaders participated in a memorial tree planting exercise at Minuma Nature Park in Saitama Prefecture. Masahi Ogawa, the Japan-China Friendship Center President Board Chairperson, said such collaborations between Africa and Japan are healthy for the good of the children and women. Hiroko Sunagawa, Vice Governor, Saitama Prefecture, who spoke on behalf of Motoriho Honuko, Governor Saitama Prefecture, said that Japan will continue supporting Africa in its developmental agenda.
To SDG goals, international goals, I sincerely hope for a successful outcome of the summits with meaning discussions.
The Prime Minister of Uganda, after the tree planting exercise, said that Japanese treasures their culture and environment.
I think each one of us in the country needs to plant a tree.
The summit attracted first ladies and women leaders from Africa, Asia, and the Pacific, and ran under the theme to cope with food crisis for the future of children by mothers. Irene Faith Nantongo, Joseph Muyingo, UBC News.
More of our weekly news roundup coming your way. Now, State Minister for Internal Affairs, General David Muhoozi, this week updated Parliament and the country at large on the ongoing criminal attacks on security personnel at police posts. He said about 10 weapons have so far been recovered, 22 culprits arrested, with 3 assailants put out of action.
On November 18th this year, unknown gunmen attacked and killed a Uganda People's Defense Forces sergeant who was guarding Gaddafi barracks in Jinja district and took off with 2 guns. And in October, thugs attacked Busika police station in Luwero district, where 3 police officers lost their lives and 4 guns taken, plus so many other attacks on security personnel at different police posts. Now, in a statement to Parliament on these attacks, State Minister for Internal Affairs, General David Muhoozi, says 10 rifles have so far been recovered, 22 culprits arrested, and 3 assailants put out of action. Muhoozi adds that operations are still ongoing to bring to book the remaining culprits still at large and also recover the remaining weapons.
The killing of 3 assailants in some of the engagements with security. 4 operations are still ongoing to apprehend the culprits still at large and to recover the remaining few weapons.
He says that different smaller police posts have been merged into sizable manageable units with the intention of improving operational efficiency.
Merging far-flung and vulnerable smaller police posts and booths into sizable units to improve operational efficiency and force protection. Number 2, better organization of security installations, that is access controls, front desk staff who attend to the public, as well as invisible reaction groups or persons have been redesignated.
Legislators had this to say on the matter.
Veterans issue is a critical matter that we should address as a country. Otherwise, we are likely to be continuing seeing such similar scenarios because they are the people that have touched the guns and they can steal guns from the fellow forces.
And their motivation, because they pay disparity in police, can cause selling of arms.
I don't know why, Ministry of Internal Affairs, you are not giving more training to your policemen in our rural police posts. Some of them are lazy. Some of them are drinking.
However, in this statement, the government says the country is peaceful and stable and will remain so, and that the security forces will do everything possible to ensure that the public goes about their business without any fear and the law enforcement officers go about their duties without any obstruction or hindrance. Shamim Naiga and Gloria Gutabenji, Parliament.
Now, updates coming away from home. Right at the national broadcaster, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation has embarked on the process to formulate a 3-year strategic plan to streamline operations for development. Top among the strategies is to align the corporation objectives with Uganda's 3rd National Development Plan. Deputy Managing Director UBC, Maurice Mugisha, says critical among the areas of focus are infrastructure, content, and human resource improvement.
It is news time and everyone in the control room of UBC TV is busy and attentive.
Messages should be framed in a way that does.
One of the news stories on air is from the Western District of Kabale. The story is talking about access to family planning services. It is a message coming at a time the world population, whose statistics Uganda has contributed to, has recently hit the 8 billion mark. This is just one of the messages that Uganda's national broadcaster, UBC, is seeking to amplify in its 3-year strategic plan.
We are strategically reviewing our business to speak to one of the mandates, which is mindset change. We're also speaking to our digital transformation agenda, but also the public sector transformation program.
Infrastructure, content development, as well as human resource realignment will be given priority.
The country will be known that is on the development spree if people can begin generating local content.
An informed nation, an informed citizenry, is a citizen that can actually be able to move from one level of development to another. And UBC plays that critical role. It is not possible to have that done without actually having a plan. To achieve all this, it will take reasonable financial support from government. In doing so, programs like the recently launched parish development model will be made useful.
Our project implementation action plans are well laid in the NDP3. So what does that mean in essence? We are picking those and tailoring them to now our strategic plan that we are developing.
We are already on the PDM and we're trying to talk to the communities for them to understand what PDM is all about. Then we want also to have the equipment, the cameras, the TVs running. We want to have our radio stations running. We have been translating information about PDM in 27 languages, main languages, but in another 56 different languages.
All these commitments are coming over 3 years since UBC held a comprehensive revamp to realign corporation operations. A lot is said to have been achieved, something management looks forward to consolidating.
The attitude of our listeners was too negative 3 years ago. But as we speak now, it has drastically changed. And the UBC, I think, is so much loved as we speak.
Content development is going to be one of our key projects, so that we develop the relevant content that speaks to government's agenda, but also the relevant content that is able to generate us revenue.
UBC has a mission to inform, educate, guide, and entertain the public through mainstreaming a sustainable national coverage. Henry Okrut, UBC.
In other updates from some of our top stories that did transpire during the week, we saw the United Nations Development Programme this week partnering with the Ministry of Health, Culture and religious leaders to scale up the national Ebola response. This was during the high-level engagement on leveraging partnerships for public health emergencies held at the UNDP offices here in Kampala.
UNDP is working with the Ministry of Health, the World Health Organization, the Interreligious Council of Uganda, Buganda Kingdom, and Kampala Capital City Authority to improve standards of care and strengthen public health, risk communications, and community engagement with emphasis on risk groups such as border riders and other vulnerable populations.
First of all, we are still in Ebola, even if we have made some great strides in there. And therefore, from a response point of view, there is still more to be done because the country is not yet declared Ebola-free. And from where we sit at UNDP, we feel that as a development agency and the largest development agency within the United Nations system, there is a strong interconnection between health and development, and therefore this is why we are coming in very strongly.
They're still in our custody, they are about 400 something, and they are being handled and others are being discharged. They don't have Ebola. And we pray that by the end of, or by mid-December, we don't have any cases or any contacts that we are still following up. Once these test negative, we shall have no more cases. At least by next year, we pray that we be declared Ebola-free.
Honorable Margaret Muhanga, the Minister of State for Health, in charge of primary health care, commended UNDP for partnership with traditional and religious leaders in supporting the national EVD response.
I want to thank the religious leaders. I want to thank Obwakabaka bwa Buganda for the interventions. I want to thank all our development partners, WHO, UNICEF, all those who have come in to assist the ministry, also the US Embassy. They've come in to assist the ministry to fight against Ebola, and especially on communication. People got this information and really adhered to the SOPs in Kasanda and Mubende. That's why you have seen we've fought it in record time of 3 months. It never happens anywhere in the world.
Excited about this partnership. We believe that other key stakeholders can leverage a lot from utilizing our countrywide faith institutions that enjoy unrivaled influence and empowered with grassroots structures, dedicated leaders, with a wide range of spiritual resources that instill their followers with a sense of responsibility and a hope in challenging circumstances.
United Nations Development Program, we are very delighted to provide support in many different facets with state and non-state actors in the response to Ebola, but importantly to strengthen health systems into the future.
UNDP resident representative Ms. Elsie Atafor underscored the role of traditional leaders and faith institutions in influencing behavioral changes and cascading EVD messages using their structures.
We are also working very strongly with the Ministry of Health on a number of fronts. Today we presented some washing machines because in the Ebola space you need to also prevent Ebola from moving forward, and washing machines are very important because we are giving the industrial ones to the health centers as well as incinerators.
Provision of heavy-duty washing machines and incinerators to support infection prevention and control and deployment of specialist UN volunteers to support the national Ebola response in high-risk areas has been prioritized. Sandra Kahunde, UBC News. You're still watching the weekly news roundup that comes your way every Sunday. In other updates, Diana Foundation, together with Stanbic Bank, this week donated medical equipment worth 25 million Uganda shillings to Lugazi Muslim Health Center 3. While delivering the equipment, the Women Member of Parliament, Buyiko District, Diana Motasingwa, appealed to government to aid health facilities in Buyikwe.
Lugazi Muslim Health Center 3 is one of the health units in Lugazi municipality that is providing services to residents of the municipality. Although the facility has tried its level best to bring health services closer to the people living in Lugazi municipality, it has been facing challenges like medical equipment for maternal services, among others. It is against this background that Diana Foundation, together with Stanbic Bank, donated delivery beds, gloves, mama kits, among other medical equipment to the facility. The woman Member of Parliament, Buyiko District, Diana Motasingwa, said this has been done in line with plans to improve health sector in Buyiko District.
Kawolo Hospital eina traffic oba population ey'amaanyi nti accidents ezibeera emabira. Omuntu avudde Kampala n'afuna accident mu mabira, avudde Kayunga, avudde Mukono, avudde ne Soroti n'osanga nga afunya akabenje, bonna badduukirira wa Kawolo Hospital. Kwebaza Lugazi Muslim Health Center tibakwatiddeko nnyo Kawolo Hospital okulaba nti traffic ebeere Kawolo bagireeta wano ate ne mubakolako obulungi.
The Deputy DHO, Buyiko District, Denise Wakabya, applauded Diana Foundation together with Stanbic Bank for the donation.
Let's not forget nti Ebola ekyali naffe ne COVID ekyaliwo. Naye tufune ekyokulya ekizimba omubiri which can make you work harder. Omuntu omulamu yakola wealth. Bw'oba oli mulwadde ojja kusigalamu mu kitanda. I thank all of you for this supplement.
Stanbic Bank was represented by Mutunda Stella, who said this is done as a corporate social responsibility.
We actually look into our funding, which is set for the year's CSR, that is the corporate social responsibility. We choose one health center among the identified health centers so that we can support the community to move it from one level to the second level.
The equipment was handed over to the hospital in charge, Chigenza Ismail, who commended the support to the hospital. He also highlighted some of the challenges faced by the hospital.
About the three major challenges. Number one is that we have a theater, but it is still lacking. We have no enough solar panels to power all the wards and the compound when there is a blackout. So in case we get the support, additional solar panels, the fact that we can boost the available system.
Ugandans were this week asked to be cautious about the kind of food and supplements they eat to maintain body health. This was during a session with nutritionists, therapists and the reflexology experts at For Our Health, a company here in Kampala.
Research reports on nutrition indicate that many people are hesitant to eat certain types of food, forgetting that their bodies could miss out on those food values required for their immunity. This confirms as to why a number of companies have initiated the idea of packing food supplements to help body efficiency, and For Our Health, Our Wealth is one of them. A nutritionist at For Our Health, Our Wealth, Steven Zuz, says that good nutrition can improve people's health.
Drinking water, it is so limited for the people in Uganda here. Reason, our weather it is always mixed, cold and warm. So people rarely get the urge of taking water, so they experience indigestion.
The head For Our Health, Our Wealth in Uganda and Africa, Godfrey Kayuwa, explains the difference between For Our Health, Our Wealth's nutrition treatment and the herbs.
We are considering the natural or the part of it because our products are organic, 100% organic. So I don't know others, what they mix in or what they have, but ours are organic and the technology is superb.
Mass therapy is another medically approved way of treatment, as it cleanses the body system and reduces the impact of health-related problems. Drug dependency is the commonest cause of mental health, as Stella Nakanja elaborates.
The cause may be on the things people take, like the drugs. Some, it may be the problem of the nerves.
Sarah Ruwamba, a therapist, says that the use of therapy is equally important for one's body health and treatment. She also enlightens the cause of poisonous foodstuffs. Ivan Juko compiled this report for UBC.
Experts this week underscored the need to educate university students on HIV preventive measures as Uganda fights to end HIV/AIDS by 2030. They believe that availing information on the self-testing, pre- and post-prophylaxis will reduce infection spread among the youth.
It's me and you, we gotta stand up and fight.
The 2020 Uganda population-based HIV impact assessment indicates a 1.8% prevalence among young people between the age of 15 to 24, though most of them do not know their HIV status. A survey conducted in October 2021 among female students at Makerere University shows that 21% of the participants had never tested for HIV.
If a condom slipped off or it broke, what would you do? And most of them did not know what to do. So sometimes they're exposed to HIV and they do not know what to do, because they would have told us, oh, maybe I use post-exposure prophylaxis, but most of them would agree that we only use IPL and Postina to prevent pregnancies.
With the changing behavior risks among students, there is need for adoption of new preventive measures.
PEP, if you continuously at risk for HIV, you can use PrEP. So for now we have pills available, but there are new products coming up. I know there are rings that are coming up that can be inserted. They're injectables, and these may increase the protection.
Engaging students in life skill programs reduces chances of them evolving in risky behaviors.
Call students together. You don't have to talk about HIV. You can talk about productivity, ways to keep themselves active, ways to make money, but you can just bring in a health component of, I'm interested in you preventing HIV because I know from studies that many of you might be in situations that might expose you to HIV. So I can introduce this new program that can teach students.
Universities are encouraged to avail information on HIV as well as review the HIV policies.
For example, HIV self-testing, which is easy to use, can it be given to these health ministers or health representatives where the students say, so that they can teach others to use them and also avail them to them. The other products are a bit tricky to use, but if they can train these health ministers that in case someone's in trouble and they need to access HIV prevention, they can refer them to where they are.
Within our budgeting process, we should be able to allocate specific resources, funds that are going towards training, sensitization, development of information and communication materials.
Some of the students UBC talked to revealed how they guard against contracting the virus.
I always make those checkups almost once a month. I make sure I'm safe.
If we can't abstain, we should use condoms.
The fight against HIV among university students requires thorough engagement with students through trainings and social media interactions to avail them with relevant information on HIV/AIDS. Miriam Numcha, UBC News.
In more news, Kanungu NRM supporters and the Kanungu NRM Nyekundeire group this week endorsed Museveni as their presidential candidate for the 2026. This was during a meeting held at Kihihi Town Council grounds, focused at strengthening their capacity and forging ways of tapping into government projects.
Deputy Treasurer NRM Jacqueline Chatuhaire has expressed the need for Kanungu to rally behind President Yoweri Museveni because he has developed road infrastructure that has improved trade in transport in the area. She called upon all members of NRM in Nyekundeire to engage in development activities that can earn them income.
Talk about the infrastructure. We are now very proud to have a very, very good tarmac that is getting to completion. We used to take so many hours going to either Kanungu or to Kampala, but it's now already a very short distance, though it's not complete. But the reasonable chunk that has been done, you can really feel that it's very good to have services near.
Members of NRM say they still see President Yoweri Museveni as the only potential candidate who can lead the people of Uganda to prosperity.
President witu atubeerireho munonga
turabye abantu bangi naye Museveni ye akyakulembera kubanga ndaba amagezi galina ge gasobora Uganda.
A member of the NRM party, Dr. Hamlet Kabshenga, asked members to engage themselves in development activities so as to benefit from good governance.
Konka tukuza mu Uganda Development Bank under Nyekundeire maziro bwire ndigamba n'aba Uganda Development Bank hagwo kweshigambo kya industry kinkwatire cyangu nshemererwa gakoreba umwana yegire nshemererwa gakoreba umunya Uganda uyu no murimo.
A sad update that came through during the week. Two people were killed reportedly. Two people this week reportedly died in a gold mine in Moshenene village, Nyakuyumbu sub-county, Kasese district. The two were identified as Stephen Bwambale, and 29-year-old, and Edward Mutewa, 42 years old.
Stephen Bwambale, 29 years old, and Edward Mutewa, 42 years, both residents of Mushenene village, Nyakuyumba sub-county in Kasese district, were yesterday buried by debris. The two, whose bodies have been exhumed from the quarry, are said to have met their death while doing their daily mining activity.
Two people have been confirmed dead in Mushenene village. One, Nyakuyumba sub-county in Kasese district, after a stone quarry debris fell on them.
According to LC3 chairperson of Nyakuyumba, Paul Kakule, the two men were in the mines during the heavy downpour that weakened the quarry, causing its collapse.
We are looking for hard rock and making aggregate that soil had collapsed on them. So it is this morning that we made a search in liaison with OC Shady, Wera Division, that really at this time we have recovered the two bodies of our colleagues.
Some residents say it's not the first time this kind of incident happens. Chairperson Kakule says many people benefit from this mine, something that has made them more vulnerable since it's their primary source of income.
It has been an illegal activity, but at least they've been getting livelihood. But I would advise my colleagues or my community members that they should desist from this activity now that all the soils are soft because of the heavy downpour.
Police spokesperson for Rwenzori East ASP Nelson Tumwine confirmed the incident and warned residents to remain vigilant.
This act of people dying in Kwale stones. So we shall meet and we harmonize on how professionally we can be carrying out these activities.
The bodies of the deceased have been conveyed to Bwera Hospital for post-mortem as police investigates the incident.
MTN presents Tugende Muchika Day at Kampala Serena Hotel on Saturday, 3rd December 2022. Standard tickets go for 100k, gold 300k, and 3 million for platinum. Or pay 90,000 shillings if you pay using MTN mobile money. Remember, this is only applicable to ordinary tickets. Featuring Eddie Away, Chasina Lubega, Sweet Kid, Kabiye Semboga, Akiki Romeo, Betty Pologuma, Ziggy D, Lady Mariam, Tina Tine, Abdumulasi, and featuring Makeup Band. All this at Kampala Serena Hotel. For reservations call 0785-961-910. Dress code Retro Style. Sponsored by Elderly Network Foundation, Coca-Cola, Al Breweries Limited, Kadanke, and MTN.
Welcome to the Living Room Stadium. It's the FIFA World Cup. The match is about to start. Food and drink ready. There's no space left for anyone. Come on, get your lucky chair. Take your usual spot. Even the puppy has one. It's preparation time. You can feel the tension in the air. And do you have everything you need to believe?
Get connected today with the My Airtel 4G smartphone, the most affordable smartphone in Uganda. You get to enjoy free 1 GB for 1 whole year. My Airtel 4G smartphone, your best value for money. Visit the nearest Airtel outlet today and get one at only 250,000 Uganda shillings. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome to Friend Stadium. Everybody's ready. Wait a second, not everybody. Come on, dude, it's the FIFA World Cup. You're going to lose your seat, the ritual seat, the lucky one. Losing more than a seat, your team is going to lose. Where are you, dude? The match is about to start. Your friends won't hold on much longer. Excuse me. Finally, everything is in the right place. Hey, other hand. And do you have everything you need to believe?
Paying for groceries the old way.
3, 4, yeah.
Allow me. Paying for groceries with the My Airtel app. You have the power in your pocket. The power to conveniently pay for goods and services. Unlock that power with the My Airtel app. Visit the App Store or Google Play now.
That's my wife.
Get value for your money by choosing the right paint. With Global Paints, you don't just paint, but paint for generations to come. Make Global Paints a paint of choice and make your building a paradise. We have weather coat emulsion, undercoat emulsion, silk vinyl emulsion, flat emulsion, super gloss, and high gloss. Global Paint, a reliable product.
Welcome back. Pleasure to have your company once again this lovely Sunday afternoon. More of our top stories that did transpire during the week we saw Ministry of Water and Environment in partnership with Water International Organization commissioned a state-of-the-art piped water system in Kakumiro district. The project started in 2018 following acute shortage of safe and clean water in Kakumiro district and has seen over 50 boreholes, piped water systems and toilet facilities constructed.
Local leaders in Kagadi district have received bicycles to help them monitor government programs. State Minister for Works and Transport Fred Byamukama has cautioned OC police officers and parish chiefs against extorting money from residents.
kandi n'entoza ya sente tukugitoza kubi ekyokola n'abandi batandise kuyita bagenzi baabo amukwata mupukira muteeka obotoka ikamuja amuyita.
Byamukama urged Kagadi residents to work hard and generate household income for themselves than depend on begging. The LC5 chairperson, Kagadi District, Ndibwami Bahunga Yosia, asked government to motivate local leaders through salary increment. He urged the village chairpersons to use the donated bicycles in promoting government programs.
The total we are giving the bicycles worth 1,057 bicycles.
Beneficiaries appreciated government for the offer but asked President Museveni to reconsider them for a modern means of transport.
Have motorcycles, 2 have vehicles, and then you find a challenge. You call a chairperson to come and pick a bicycle, to get a bicycle. Therefore, there is a need to work on that, to think on that, much as others are saying that the government is not doing well.
Now moving on, and more from the business world, right here in our region. Worldwide Fund for Nature this week donated modern sawmills to tree growers, cooperative societies in 5 districts of western Uganda. The tree cutting kit distribution was concluded with the delivering of improved timber cutting equipment to Mitoma Tree Growers Cooperative Society in the Mitoma district. Other districts that have already received the machines include Kisoro, Rubirizi, Kasese, Rukundiri and now Mitoma.
Worldwide Fund for Nature is supporting tree planters and timber traders in western Uganda with the technology that provides quality timber worth 350 million shillings. Worldwide Fund for Nature Forest Markets Transformation Manager Henry Trinawe said this while handing over a modern sawmill to Mitoma district.
Once the protected areas are protected, jobs are created for the young people that are running the sawmills. People start realizing incomes and appreciating the value and appreciating that once they cut the trees, they plant more.
The resident district commissioner Mitoma, Chibuka Francis, officiated the event that was held at Mitoma district headquarters.
We are so grateful as Mitoma people for this wonderful support of encouraging these tree growers to make a tree as a business. I want to thank her for this new technology that is offered to the tree growers in Mitoma.
Mitoma Tree Growers Cooperative Society, chaired by Bamusime Asaf Muhwezi Chibuka, requested the Worldwide Fund for Nature Management to support Mitoma Tree Growers Cooperative Society for benchmarking sessions.
We shall use it well to make sure that at least the environment is well protected. It won't stop us protecting the environment. Even our pockets will get some resources.
Mitoma district leadership thanked Worldwide Fund for Nature for the equipment that will help tree growers maximize timber production, protect the environment, and improve livelihoods as they generate more income.
Be cooperative so that we can enhance our cooperation, whereby we shall benefit in other areas like we have benefited today from WWF by offering the new technology for tree business.
The Ministry of Water and Environment says people using power saws have been causing a lot of wastage.
Initially, before the sawmill, most people have been using the power saw, and as it has been realized, studies have shown that there is a lot of wastage of the timber that comes from there, and that is why we feel like bringing the sawmill helps to avoid that kind of wastage.
Joseph Oko, UBC.
An agreement that will usher in a new rice variety in the country was this week reached at between the Korean Program on International Agriculture and the National Agriculture Research Organization. The farm trails to validate the new technologies of growing Kafasi 39 and improved high-yielding aromatic rice from Korea are in the final stages before its inception early next year.
Ugandan rice farmers are expected to embrace a new improved high-yielding aromatic rice variety from the Korean Republic, now at final stages of trials.
We actually thought we would release it this month, but it was deferred to January of next year. So this, we think, is going to be a flagship variety for the next phase of the project.
Kafasi 39, which is an irrigated ecology variety, is expected to replace local varieties to meet a high yield and consumption rate of rice in the country.
So meaning we have now better varieties for irrigated ecology, which will replace all these kinds of varieties with a 9 variety. So that's the advantage.
Ugandan rice farmers are, however, expected to get new skills on how to handle the new variety for better outputs.
Also, this project helps us to transfer knowledge and technologies from South Korea that has grown rice, and you can see their productivity is high, at about 8 tons per hectare, compared to ours, which is about 2.5 metric tons per hectare, very low.
The aspect of water for irrigation was emphasized for better outputs during a joint stakeholder meeting held by COPIA in Kampala.
Today, as we talk about aromatic rice, it's mainly produced in the lowland areas, in the slums. But today we understand farmers being moved away from the production areas. We're talking about aspects of water. And then irrigation, is it going to work at along those lines?
This follows a memorandum of understanding that was signed between Korean Program on International Agriculture and National Agricultural Research Organization.
It is much larger in rice cultivation area, and the farmers and the rice consumption is growing rapidly. We look forward to hearing good news in the future. And the rice technology development, the project will be completed this year, and it will be extended to farmers demonstration project over the next step from next year.
A 3-year project is to be implemented by National Agricultural Research Organization, supported by the Korean government through Korean Program on International Agriculture. Joseph Oko, UBC.
In more news, the Minister for Works and Transport, General Katumba Wamala, this week launched an automated system that allows all those intending to associate with the building industry access contract services easily. The BEAMS system, meant to promote sustainable urbanization, housing and digital program, was launched during a function held at Speak Resort Hotel, Monyonyo, near Kampala.
To make building industry services easy to access has been launched and is integrated with National Identification Regulatory Authority, Uganda Registration Services Bureau and Uganda Revenue Authority. The Minister for Works and Transport, General Edward Katumba Wamala, said this building industry management system is an automated system that allows all those intending to apply for building contract services to do online.
So the board sitting in Kampala will be able to see that building X missed out stage 1, stage 2 of the submissions, or it doesn't have the professionals supervising the project. So it will be able to crack down and say, no, stop that building before it becomes an accident.
General Katumba Wamala said that this system is going to be in Kampala and in the new cities all over Uganda, which is going to decimate corruption.
Maybe that Ugandan was finding it difficult to have his plans for those 2 rooms approved through the system. Now with this one, he doesn't even need to see anybody as it was in Davam. This one's not in Davam. You just go in the system, fill in your details, and the system helps you to maneuver.
The Executive Director, National Building Revenue Board, Flavia Wide, explained how BIMS digitizing industry is going to benefit Ugandans.
We draw our mandate from the Building Control Act, which is to monitor building developments countrywide, ensure that the design and construction of buildings and utilities to which the public have access cater for persons with disabilities. We oversee, inspect, and monitor the operations of the building committees. We hear and determine appeals from persons dissatisfied with decisions of the building committees. We determine the fees to be charged by urban and district committees for approval of building plans and issuance of permits.
Minister coming from the ICT sector,
I really want to pray and support that we continue to give NITA all the support they need to digitize this process. So please continue to support them.
The initiative is aimed at reducing delays, corruption, and improving efficiency and effectiveness of the building control process. Stephen Kayumba.
Well, thank you so much for watching the National Broadcaster and, of course, joining us for this weekly news roundup that comes your way every Sunday. My name is Sandra Kahunde. Of course, from the entire team behind the scene, wish you a blessed Sunday and a fruitful week ahead. Keep watching UBC.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.